Desmond Mpilo Tutu OMSG was a South African Anglican bishop and theologian, known for his work as an anti-apartheid and human rights activist. He was the Bishop of Johannesburg from 1985 to 1986 and then the Archbishop of Cape Town from 1986 to 1996, in both cases being the first Black African to hold the position. Theologically, he sought to fuse ideas from Black theology with African theology. Desmond Mpilo Tutu was born of mixed Xhosa and Motswana heritage to a poor family in Klerksdorp, South Africa. Entering adulthood, he trained as a teacher and married Nomalizo Leah Tutu, with whom he had several children. In 1960, he was ordained as an Anglican priest and in 1962 moved to the United Kingdom to study theology at King's College London. In 1966 he returned to Southern Africa, teaching at the Federal Theological Seminary and then the University of Botswana, Lesotho, and Swaziland. In 1972, he became the Theological Education Fund's Director for Africa, a position based in London but necessitating regular tours of the African continent. Back in Southern Africa in 1975, he served first as Dean of St. Mary's Cathedral in Johannesburg and then as Bishop of Lesotho. From 1978 to 1985 he was General Secretary of the South African Council of Churches. He emerged as one of the most prominent opponents of South Africa's apartheid system of racial segregation and white minority rule. Although warning the National Party government that anger at apartheid would lead to racial violence, as an activist he stressed non-violent protests and foreign economic pressure to bring about universal suffrage. In 1985, Tutu became Bishop of Johannesburg and in 1986 the Archbishop of Cape Town, the most senior position in Southern Africa's Anglican hierarchy. In this position he emphasized the consensus-building model of leadership and oversaw the introduction of female priests. Also in 1986, he became president of the All-Africa Conference of Churches, resulting in further tours of the continent. After President F.W. de Klerk released the anti-apartheid activist Nelson Mandela from prison in 1990 and the pair led negotiations to end apartheid and introduce multiracial democracy, Tutu assisted as a mediator between rival Black factions. After the 1994 general election resulted in a coalition government headed by Mandela, the latter selected Tutu to chair the Truth and Reconciliation Commission to investigate past human rights abuses committed by both pro- and anti-apartheid groups. Following apartheid's fall, Tutu campaigned for gay rights and spoke out on a wide range of subjects, among them the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, his opposition to the Iraq War, and his criticism of South African presidents Thabo Mbeki and Jacob Zuma. In 2010, he retired from public life. Tutu polarized opinion as he rose to prominence in the 1970s. White conservatives who supported apartheid despised him, while many white liberals regarded him as too radical. Many Black radicals accused him of being too moderate and focused on cultivating white goodwill, while Marxist-Leninists criticized his anti-communist stance. He was widely popular among South Africa's Black majority, and was internationally praised for his anti-apartheid activism, receiving a range of awards, including the Nobel Peace Prize. He also compiled several books of his speeches and sermons. Tutu maintained an interest in social issues. In July 2014, he came out in support of legalized assisted dying, later stating that he would want that option open to him personally. In December 2015, Tutu's daughter, Mpilo Tutu, married a woman in the Netherlands. Tutu attended and gave the proceedings a blessing, despite Anglican opposition to same-sex marriage. Tutu continued commenting on international affairs. In November 2012, he published a letter alongside Mairead Maguire and Adolfo Perez Esquivel in which they expressed support for the imprisoned U.S. military whistleblower Chelsea Manning. In August 2017, Tutu was among 10 Nobel Peace Prize laureates who urged Saudi Arabia to stop the execution of 14 participants of the 2011-12 Saudi Arabian protests. In September, Tutu asked Myanmar's leader Aung San Suu Kyi to halt the army's persecution of the country's Muslim Rohingya minority. In December 2017, he was among those to condemn U.S. President Donald Trump's decision to officially recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital despite Palestinian opposition. Tutu died in Cape Town at the Oasis Frail Care Center during the morning of December 26, 2021. He was 90.